You like it spicy, don't you, Lisa? You know it's going to be one of those days when you're looking for your wallet in your wife's purse, and instead find a bottle of premium personal lubricant that definitely wasn't purchased for your benefit. Next to it, a box of protections, the expensive kind she always claimed gave her a rash. I'm Danny, 35, and I fix laptops for a living in this sleepy Connecticut town where everyone knows everyone's business. My wife Lisa works as an executive assistant for Morrison and Associates, a fancy law firm downtown. She's always been ambitious, always climbing that corporate ladder like her stilettos were made for it. Standing in our kitchen that Tuesday morning, holding evidence of my wife's extracurricular activities, I felt something cold and calculating settle in my chest. Most guys would storm into their wife's office, make a scene, demand explanations. But I've always been the methodical type, the guy who reads instruction manuals and backs up his hard drive twice. So instead of confronting Lisa, I got creative. That evening, while she showered, I carefully opened the lubricant bottle with the precision of a Swiss watchmaker. Half the contents went down the drain, replaced with a mixture I'd been saving since my college prank days. Brilliant green dye, the kind they use in fountain jokes, mixed with enough pepper spray to make a grown man weep like he'd been chopping onions in a windstorm. The protections got special.
Treatment 2. A sewing needle applied with surgical precision created tiny holes invisible to the unaided eye, but large enough to ensure maximum unreliability. For maximum effect, I muttered to myself, channeling my inner mad scientist. Lisa emerged from the bathroom wrapped in a towel, looking like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. "How was your day, honey?" "Same old routine," I replied, watching her face for any sign of guilt. "Nothing. She could have won awards for that performance. Over dinner, she mentioned working late again. Big case is coming up. Mr. Patterson wants the whole team to pull an all-nighter at that conference center in Hartford." Patterson? Richard Patterson, senior partner at her firm. Distinguished silver fox type, divorced, drives a Porsche, and thinks his law degree makes him God's gift to married women. "Which conference center?" I asked casually, twirling spaghetti around my fork. "The Hampton Suites by the interstate. You know, the one with the fancy business center, right? The Hampton Suites, where rooms rent by the hour if you know who to ask." That night, while Lisa slept peacefully beside me, probably dreaming about her upcoming business meeting, I made my preparations. A small GPS tracker went under her car seat. Modern technology is beautiful when you know how to use it. 3 days later, my phone buzzed with a location alert. Lisa's car was parked at the Hampton Suites at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday during what she'd claimed was a client meeting downtown. I drove over, parked behind a landscaping truck with a clear view of the parking lot, and settled in to wait. 20 minutes later, Lisa emerged from room 237, adjusting her hair and smoothing down the black dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. Behind her walked Patterson himself, straightening his tie with the satisfied smirk of a man who just scored a touchdown. I watched them embrace. Not a professional
Handshake, but the kind of kiss that left lipstick on his collar and my marriage in ruins. Lisa was wearing the red lingerie set she claimed was too uncomfortable for regular wear. My phone camera captured everything. Timestamps, GPS coordinates, their faces clear as day. But photos weren't enough. I needed the full performance. The following week, I called in sick and established proper surveillance. Nothing dramatic, just a patient man with binoculars and a thermos of coffee learning their routine. Every Tuesday and Thursday, same dance. Lisa would text me about overtime, then meet Patterson at the Hampton Suites. On Thursday, I booked the room directly below theirs. The Hampton Suites might look fancy, but the walls were thin enough to hear every word of their pillow talk. "Her husband's completely clueless." Patterson's voice drifted down through the ceiling. "Lisa says he spends more time with computers than with her. Poor bastard probably thinks romance is fixing her laptop." Lisa's laugh was like fingernails on a chalkboard. "Danny's sweet, but he's so predictable. Boring." "Really? You know what excitement he brought to our marriage last month?" "A new password manager. What he doesn't know won't hurt him," Patterson chuckled. That's where he was wrong. For the next hour, I listened to them systematically dismantle my character, my career, even my choice in breakfast cereal. Every insult was another nail in their respective coffins. When they finally left, Patterson strutting like a peacock, Lisa practically glowing, I made my move. His silver Porsche sat under a security light, pristine and perfect. I didn't touch it, didn't need to. I had bigger plans. Lisa came home that evening complaining about stomach cramps. "I think I ate something bad at lunch," she groaned, making her third trip to the bathroom in 20 minutes. "Poor baby," Sabotaged I said, us. He offering wants her to call the ginger ale. police. "Maybe you should Maybe take hire a tomorrow private easy." investigator. The "That's next terrible," morning, I my said, gym buddy mustering called all with the concern interesting I could news. fake. Dude,
Are you
you'll
okay?
never believe what
Do you
happened
need to
to
go
that
to the
lawyer
hospital?
Patterson yesterday.
She shook her
Had some
head,
kind of medical
tears
emergency during his
streaming down
power
her
lunch.
cheeks.
Explosive
I
digestive
already
issues
went.
right there in the middle of the country
They gave
club
me some
dining
cream
room.
for the burning,
I nearly
but
choked
the
on my
green,
coffee.
they say it might
No
take
kidding.
weeks to fade
Word
completely.
is they had to call paramedics.
That evening,
Guy was
while
doubled
Lisa
over,
soaked in
sweating
an
the whole
oatmeal
9
bath
yards.
trying to ease the
They're saying it
irritation,
might
I
have
got a
been
call
food
from my cousin
poisoning.
Mike,
Phase
who
1
works
was working
security at the
perfectly.
Hampton
2
Suites.
weeks later, Lisa
Danny,
came home
you
pale
gotta
and
hear
shaking.
this,
She
Mike
sat me down
whispered.
at our kitchen table.
We had the
Hands
craziest
trembling as she
incident
reached
today.
for mine.
2 people in
Danny,
room
we need to
237 had
talk,
some kind of
she
medical
whispered.
emergency.
Something happened.
Paramedics said they'd
I
never
felt my
seen
heart
anything
rate
like
spike,
it.
but kept my
Both
expression
victims
neutral.
covered head to
What
toe
kind
in
of
bright
something?
green dye,
There was an incident
screaming
at the
about
hotel
burning
today. Her voice
sensations.
was barely audible.
That's wild,
Richard
I
and I, we
replied,
were having
keeping
a
my
meeting
voice
and something
carefully
went
neutral.
terribly wrong.
Here's the kicker.
What
It
kind
happened
of wrong?
during what
I
was
asked, though
obviously
I
an
already
affair.
knew.
Guy's a big shot
Lisa's
lawyer.
face crumpled.
Woman's married
We
to
both
someone
ended up
else.
in the
Both of
emergency
them
room.
trying
There
to
was some
explain to
kind of chemical
paramedics why they were
reaction.
in a
We're both
hotel
covered
room
in this
together,
green stuff
covered
that
in
won't wash
mystery
off. It
chemicals in
burns,
their
Danny.
underwear.
It burns
Sounds
everywhere. I
embarrassing.
had to bite the
Embarrassing
inside of my
doesn't
cheek
cover
to
it.
keep from grinning.
There were other
Chemical
guests
reaction.
filming with their
The doctor
phones.
said it looks like
This thing's
industrial
going
dye
viral.
mixed with irritants.
Green
Richard
lovers
thinks
caught in
someone...
chemical romance is trending on social media. I hung up and allowed myself a small smile. Phase 2 was exceeding expectations. The next morning, Lisa emerged from our bedroom looking like a radioactive Christmas elf. The green dye had settled into her skin overnight, creating a mottled pattern that no amount of makeup could cover. Her eyes were still red and puffy from the pepper spray residue. I can't go to work like this, she wailed, staring at herself in the hallway mirror. Everyone will see. Everyone will ask questions. Maybe you should call in sick, I suggested. Tell them you had an allergic reaction to something. My phone rang. Patterson's name flashed on the screen. Lisa lunged for it, but I answered first. Danny, this is Richard
Receipts.
Patterson from Lisa's
I'm sure
firm.
it's all
His
perfectly
voice was
innocent,
hoarse
but
arrow,
in
probably from
situations like
screaming.
this, it's
We need
important
to
to have
talk.
legal
There's been a
representation.
serious incident
The
involving your
line went
wife.
quiet, except for Patterson's ragged
I
breathing.
replied innocently.
I'm hanging up now,
What
he
kind
said
of
finally.
incident?
But
Someone
this isn't
deliberately
over.
sabotaged
No,
us,
I
poisoned
agreed.
us.
I don't
This
think
was
it
an
is.
attack, and I have
After
reason
I
to
hung
believe
up,
you might
Lisa
be
stared
involved.
at me with a mixture
Lisa
of
was
horror and
frantically
dawning
shaking her head,
realization.
mouthing,
You did
don't say
this,
anything.
she whispered.
That's
You
a
knew
serious
about us.
accusation, Mr.
You
Patterson.
planned this?
I said calmly.
Knew about what?
Are you saying
I
someone
asked
tried to
innocently.
hurt my wife?
Don't play
Your
dumb,
wife and I
Danny.
were
You
conducting business
sabotaged that.
yesterday
You
when
put
we were
something
both
in
exposed
the...
to some kind
She
of
couldn't
chemical
finish the
tool.
sentence.
We're
I put
talking about
something in
attack
what,
charges
Lisa?
here.
Your work supplies,
Business.
your business
I let the
materials.
word
I
hang
was
in the
enjoying
air.
this more than I
What
probably
kind
should
of
have.
business
Or are
requires
you
you to be
talking
in a
about the
hotel
personal
room together,
lubricant I
Mr.
found in your
Patterson?
purse? The one
Silence on
sitting
the other
next to the
end.
box of
Lisa's
protections
face
that you
went white
supposedly
beneath the
can't
green
use.
tint.
Her face
I think
crumpled.
you know exactly
It's not
what
what
I'm
you think,
talking
really.
about.
Because what
Patterson
I think
finally
is
said,
that
his
my wife
lawyer
has been having an
instincts kicking
affair
in
with her
too
boss
late.
for months, lying to my
Actually, I
face and
don't,
using our
I
money to
replied
pay for
cheerfully.
hotel rooms
But
where she
I'd be
can
happy
mock
to
my
discuss
marriage
it.
and my
Maybe
manhood.
we should meet
That's not
somewhere
true.
public with witnesses.
Should we call the
I'm sure
Hampton
my lawyer
Suites
would
and
love
ask
to
about
hear
their
about the
security
business you've been
footage?
conducting
Or
with
maybe
my
check
wife.
your phone records for
Your
all
lawyer?
those
Oh,
work-related
yes.
text
See, I've
messages
been
you've been
documenting
sending
some
to Mr.
interesting
Patterson?
patterns in Lisa's behavior
Lisa
lately.
sank into a kitchen
Unexplained
chair,
absences,
the green
mysterious
dye on her
purchases,
skin making her look like a
hotel.
defeated leprechaun.
How long have you known? She asked quietly. Long enough to get creative. She looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes. What do you want? I want you to understand something, I said, sitting across from her at our kitchen table. For months, you and Patterson have been playing games with my life, laughing at me, planning around me, treating me like some pathetic fool who couldn't see what was happening in his own marriage.
Not finished.
Danny,
You used our home as your base of operations. You used our bed to plan your affairs. You used our money to buy supplies for your romantic adventures. And through it all, you looked me in the eye every morning and lied. She was crying now, green-tinted tears running down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. It just happened. Richard was charming, and you were always working, and I felt neglected. Stop! I held up a hand. Just stop with the excuses. You made choices, adult choices. Now you get to live with adult consequences. What kind of consequences? Before I could answer, my phone rang. Patterson again. Don't answer it, Lisa begged. Please, Danny. He's panicking. He thinks you're going to ruin his career. Isn't that interesting? I amused, letting it go to voicemail. He's worried about his career, but not worried about destroying our marriage. The voicemail was 3 minutes of Patterson threatening legal action, demanding meetings, and generally sounding like a man whose world was crumbling around him. I played it on speaker so Lisa could hear every desperate word. He's scared, she said when it finished. He should be. That afternoon, while Lisa hid in our bedroom trying various home remedies to remove the green staining, I received a visit from Patterson himself. He stood on my front porch looking like an angry, incredible Hulk. Green dye covering his face, neck, and hands, his expensive suit wrinkled and stained. We need to talk, he said through gritted teeth.
Absolutely, I agreed, stepping outside and closing the door behind me. I wanted this conversation to happen where the neighbors could see. You poisoned us, he stated flatly. I don't know how you did it, but I know it was you. Poisoned you? I looked confused. Mr. Patterson, are you feeling all right? You look unwell. Cut the crap, Danny. You found out about the affair and you booby-trapped something. I want to know what it was and how you did it. I pulled out my phone and started recording. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? You mentioned an affair. His eyes widened as he realized what he just admitted. Stop recording. This is my property, Mr. Patterson. I have every right to record conversations here. Now, you were saying something about an affair involving my wife. You know perfectly well. Actually, I don't know anything for certain, but you just confessed to having an affair with Lisa on my security camera. I pointed to the small device mounted under our porch eaves. Would you like to elaborate on that? Patterson's face went from green to purple. You can't use that recording. Actually, I can. Connecticut is a one-party consent state for recordings, and since we're on my property, I have even broader rights. This conversation is completely legal. He looked around frantically, noticing for the first time that several neighbors were watching from their yards and windows. What do you want? He asked, his voice dropping to a whisper. What do I want? I pretended to consider the question. Well, let's see. I want my wife to stop lying to me. I want her to stop using our money to fund her romantic adventures. I want you to stop seducing married women in cheap hotel rooms, and I want both of you to understand that actions have consequences. This was attack, Patterson said desperately. Chemical attack. I could have you arrested for what? You still haven't told me what I supposedly did. And more importantly, you still haven't explained what you were doing in a hotel room with my wife when this mysterious attack occurred. He was trapped and he knew it. Any complaint he filed would require him to admit to the affair, explain why he was in a hotel room with Lisa, and detail how he came to be exposed to whatever had